Hi kids, come in my van.
Or a little bit.
Hey guys.
Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be doing some stuff to the Civic based off of what I was talking about in the track video that we did. I did a couple track prep videos and then we actually had the track day video. It is still not out yet as of me recording this video now, but I will get around to doing it. I have been pretty swamped with my internship. So right now we're just going to be fixing some of the things that I was talking about, which is basically just the cooling system of the car. So the radiator, the hoses, and a new thermostat. So I never really explained why I'm doing all this stuff to the car. So at the track day there was some puddling underneath the car, so I was assuming something was leaking. Obviously it was either the radiator, the hoses, or the thermostat because it was on the driver's side of the car. So assuming that it was one of those three, I just had the genius idea of buying all three of them instead of figuring out which one it was, buying the part and installing it. So this is the install of all three. The radiator is the Skunk 2 radiator, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. I have OEM replacement hoses, and I have a Mishimoto racing thermostat, so it's a little bit cooler, so that way it'll open up earlier and stuff like that. So hopefully it'll help with the cooling process, but not really affect the whole drivability of it, because I've heard cold thermostats can kind of mess that up, but we'll see. Will with the Type R, you've probably seen in a couple other videos, is going to be coming to help me, and then we're going to do an oil change on his Type R. If you haven't seen an oil change on a Type R, we've done that recently. You can check that out up here. So I'm just going to change out of my work clothes, and then I'm going to grab some ratty clothes, go out to the garage, and get all the parts. One other quick thing I forgot to mention. Josh, you know who you are. Thank you for the parts. I literally do not buy parts from anywhere aside from Josh now. I've mentioned him in a couple other videos. He is a friend out in Florida. He does, I don't know what he does, but he buys me parts for cheap, or gets me parts for cheap. So if you guys are looking for anything on a discount, definitely hit him up on Instagram. I'm going to put his Instagram right here, also in the description. Just let him know what you're looking for. He beat Skunk 2's price, he beat everyone else's price. Skunk 2 had a sale and he still beat their price, beat their shipping date. So go check him out, buy some parts from him, support his business, or whatever he's doing. So obviously for the installation, we're going to have to take off a lot of the components on the car. We're going to be having to take off the bumper and things like that. So I'm not going to film that. There's just all the bumper clips, the tray underneath the car, stuff like that. And then you're obviously going to have to drain the radiator and everything out of the radiator. Make sure you catch it, make sure it doesn't leak everywhere. I'll probably just do a quick time lapse of everything, but once I get more into it, I'll let you guys know step by step what you should be doing. So Will's going to come help me out with this project really quickly. I'm going to try and... So Will's going to come help me out with this project really quick. If you guys do not remember Will or know Will, in some of my other videos we work on his Type R, or he's just around helping. He's always happy to help wrench with me. So if you guys have not already seen any of the videos of his car, definitely check out some of them. Type R videos seem to do really well on this channel, so thank you to everyone that's coming from those videos. We have videos for his car, like we did a downpipe, heat wrap, heat management, suspension, tires, a whole bunch of shifter stuff, so definitely check out those videos for him. And here he is. So, excuse the garage for being a mess. We took everything out of the trailer we used for storage, sort of, to put the Civic in there when we did it for the track day. So, everything's kind of everywhere. So right here we have everything we're going to need for the installation, essentially. So we have the Skunk 2 Alpha radiator. We have the OEM replacement Daycom hoses. I got these from AutoZone for like 12 bucks. And then a Mishimoto thermostat. So this is the 160, 150 degree thermostat, so it should open earlier to help with cooling and everything. As much as this is definitely something you need to do if you're going to want to start racing your car, I'm doing this primarily because of the fact that the car is leaking. So before I pulled the car into the garage, I had to move the tractor out of the way, and while the car was sitting, it leaked this puddle. I swear it was only sitting for like 3 minutes, so this is obviously something I need to fix. It is definitely becoming an issue. I had to refill the radiator like with half a gallon this morning before I went to work. So definitely something I need to get done. Like I said, regardless the fact that I'm going to be doing this for racing purposes, this needs to be done because I need to get my radiator to stop leaking.
You fool!
Fair warning, my farts really smell.
Oh, great.
So there's a bunch of bolts you're going to have to take off of this. There's all of these support bracket bolts for this actual bar itself. All of them are 10 millimeters, so it will be pretty easy to take everything off. They are the same from basically this side of the car over. So there's the one bolt that holds the radiator on with this little mount piece. Obviously you have to take the one off for the bumper. This one holds the AC condenser, so when you lift this thing up, it'll actually stay out. You don't have to remove this whole bolt. It kind of just has like a fork shape. There's one right here, and on the other side, right by the hood latch, is kind of a pain in the butt. You have to hold this to the side and then take it out with the 10, and then this one right up top. You are also going to have to take off the 3 for the hood latch, so that way you can pull this piece up, as well as there is a clip for the wiring harness, so that way it knows your hood is popped to illuminate the light on your dash. You'll have to take that off as well. And then the last thing you're going to need to do is take off the actual fill cap. So I'm probably going to be doing that really quickly, and then I'll just get back to it in a second. Where did we put that thing? There. So we got this whole support piece out now. The radiator and everything is completely exposed. Should be easy to, once we disconnect everything else, to just slide the whole thing upwards. I'm going to have to obviously drain it out first and disconnect all of the hoses to it. I am going to leave this one that goes to the filter, or the fill mouth, because I don't have this piece. I just got this replacement piece and this lower one down here. And right down here is where the thermostat is also. So I'm going to be replacing that. So this should be pretty easy to do. If this hose is kind of being stubborn and doesn't want to come off, I'll just take the whole housing out with it, and then it'll just be one easier thing to do. So we're draining out the fluids right now. I have 2 of these little jars. I don't think I'm going to need any more than this because it was already leaking. It was definitely low to begin with. So if not, I have a couple more over on the other side of the garage I could grab, but it seems like it's kind of dying out right now anyway. Then once this is emptied, we are going to pull the radiator up and out, and then put the fancy new one on. Oh wait, we got to take this off. Much easier this time. So the Skunk 2 radiator accepts the OEM fans in the exact same position, so we just have to take these 2 bolts out. You can either use, I think it's a 10 or a 12, or you can use a Phillips head, because they are Phillips heads. So I definitely recommend changing your hoses if your car has high miles on it. Just a peace of mind, getting OEM replacement ones from AutoZone are only like 20 bucks, so definitely do that. Or you can get like the silicone replacement ones on eBay for like 30 bucks, but it takes a while for them to ship because they come from China. But all that aside, the car is ready to go back together essentially. So the radiator is totally out. I could see where my original leak was. It's probably a little too dark on the camera, but over here, it was coming out by the passenger side. You might be able to kind of see a little bit of a puddle over there. If it would autofocus on that. But it's out. We got the new one over there. So, like many car projects, we ran into an impasse. We rounded off one of the bolts on the housing, so now we're trying to drill it out. Definitely take your time, make sure you PB blast everything. This nut was actually so rusted I didn't even know it was actually a 10 millimeter until I took the other 2 off. This one just gave us so many issues, and I guess the socket kind of slipped off last second and rounded it off, so we're going to try drilling it out, but just trying to be careful because it is a plastic housing. We don't want to mess up the plastic threads and everything else that is along with it. Hopefully this will help, but you know, I'll get back to it once we get everything out and start actually working on the car again. So we've been struggling with this one bolt in the housing. We got all the other ones out. We tried drilling it, we tried using extractors, we tried using the extractor drill bit, the extractor sockets, nothing seems to work, so we're going to end up taking off the back half of the housing and hopefully not breaking it so that way we can reuse it. So right now Will's taking off some of the clamps and stuff, and then there's 3 bolts, 1 up here and 2 down on the bottom. We're going to have to take off, and then hopefully we'll be able to then get the bolt out while it's on a bench with us. So we were able to take the whole, I'm not going to wear these for this part. We were able to get the entire thermostat housing out, including this back piece. It was kind of a pain in the ass to do, but there were these 3 bolts that we got out. So now that we have it in our hands, we're actually just going to cut the bolt out entirely and then worry about getting it out of the threads in a minute. But first things first, we just got to cut it. So. So we got the OEM thermostat off of the actual housing piece. You could see Will still has this thing in its hand. It's kind of smoking. We just put some PB Blaster on it to try and get the rest of the stud out. So then hopefully we could do that, and then hopefully this will go back in a lot easier than it came out. We got the thermostat in. Now it's time to get the radiator in. So the radiator has the OEM fans put on, as well as a new Daco, which is the brand. It's just an OEM replacement hose. I said before that I didn't go with a silicone one just because shipping would be way too long, and there really is no benefit between getting one like this or a silicone one aside from just having it a different color or have it say Skunk 2, even though you can't see it on the bottom one. So. Got the radiator back in. It looks very nice compared to the horrible black plastic that the OEM one is. You just want to make sure that the feet that look like this on the bottom go into where the feet obviously are down low. We already attached the hose to the new thermostat and down to the bottom, and we reconnected the clip for the coolant temperature sensor, couldn't think of the word, and also reconnected all the fans. So now we're going to just put the cross member piece back on, which we left over here, and then put all the bolts back that we had down there. So we got the radiator back in, everything is attached, we got the support across the top now, we got the hood latch back on everything, we have the fill neck, everything is back in place. We now just have to fill everything up and then burp it. There's plenty of videos of how to fill up a radiator, so this is probably just going to be the end of the video. So thank you again to Will for having to deal with this car and doing quite a bit, especially when it came to the annoying thermostat. I'll probably do like a little driving segment, see if the thermostat did actually do anything to the car and affect the daily drivability of it, because I know that's kind of a big issue for a lot of people. They don't want to take the big jump to a colder thermostat because it might wreck their daily drivability. I think because the car does make a lot of heat because it is turboed and everything, it might be useful, but if you RNA, it might be hit or miss. So I'll get into that section when I get around to doing that. So we got the car running. Didn't have any initial leaks. I'm just going to give it a quick test drive just to make sure that it doesn't leak under pressure. Everything seems to be working fine. The fans are kicking on, the thermostat's working. We were just finishing up burping everything so that's possible there. And the opposite on the bumper on it. You've probably seen that I've been alluding to the fact that my radiator wasn't actually the thing leaking, being that I'm from the future from this video. So it turns out it was my water pump. So I did all that for nothing. Not really though, I kind of needed it. But I never recorded that because that was a pain in the butt to do. It was all on the passenger side of the engine, super close to the wall. There was absolutely no room to get any video. There really aren't even that many videos on the internet, so I feel kind of bad for not getting a video, but unfortunately that's what was leaking too, so we had to take everything back out and do the water pump. So we got the water pump in and it stopped leaking at least the same rate that it was. There's no puddling underneath the car anymore, but I am still losing coolant. So I need to figure out what is going on with the car. So stay tuned for the next video.
Everybody asked me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me so.